Well, guys, welcome back. Another week, another video here. Where are we at? Week 5, episode 5 on the renovating the 93 Classic. So yeah, let's walk through the home. I'll give you this week's update on where we're at, where we're going, what we've completed so far. Things are moving along buttery smooth. So as far as the renovation goes, I think that's always a success in my books. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, we're going to start our tour here in the master and I'll showcase a few things we've done. And we will continue on to the kids' washroom and wrap things up in the kitchen. Let's have a look. All right, guys. So you can see in the shower here in the master bedroom, we have completed our tile. Subway tile is up. Stone is in. This is all ready for grout and plumbing, so that's pretty sweet. I guess probably the most exciting thing in here as of recently is we finally have the vanity in place. So if you guys remember, this was actually an old vanity that we removed. It had that yellow look, classic from a 90s house. And then we ended up reskinning it in oak and then putting some new arborite countertops on top. So this is just arborite on here. And then this is actually just repurposed and refinished oak. So we just stripped off the yellow stain and then restained it to, again, give it that nice dark look to stick with the theme that we have running through the rest of the home. We also put in some soft close hinges on here, even on the old stuff. So that is pretty cool. It just slowly closes here on its own, which is mint. So yeah, that's pretty cool. This one's got a sink in it. We've dropped the sink in. That's ready for plumbing. I've also raised this up because this is my sink. So I brought this up to about 38 inches just to have a little extra height because I am a taller guy and that really makes a big difference. And then here is just the second vanity. We've got a bunch of crap on here right now, but this is quite substantially lower by about 5 inches. And this is essentially a makeup table. So anyways, let's continue on. The walk-in closet. These walls have now been completely floated here with drywall mud. So gone are the days of the spackle like you see on the ceiling. I'm just freaking thankful that that has finally been taken away. And yeah, you know what? It takes a bit of time, but it's just beautifully smooth. Going to give it one sand here tomorrow and then it's ready for paint. So yeah, if you have a room that has that spackling wall, you know, like a textured ceiling material, but on your walls, number one, yeah, maybe replace it with brand new drywall. That might be your best choice. Then you have fresh, brand new sheets of drywall, and then you can paint it and finish it as you please. And or in our case here, just float it with some mud. Not a big deal. Make it a little bit of a extra thick consistency, and then you can literally just scrape it on there. And this took about 3 coats per wall, I would say, to get it to where it's as smooth as brand new drywall. So just food for thought. All right. Now we're going to continue over here into the kids' bathroom. You can see we have this beautiful tile going down. Look at this tile. 24 by 24 inch tiles, but it's that kind of classic weathered Portuguese look. I kind of wanted the idea of, you know, walking into an old church where it looks like it had lots of foot traffic. And then the design aspect is super cool. This is currently dry fitted in here right now, as you can see. So that's all ready to go. And the new vanity for the kids' bathroom has gone in here. So the box, at least the frame, the kick's been put in, and then the frame has been put in place. This is now ready for plumbing. The only thing I have to do yet is just cut out where the sinks are going to drop in. So I've got these drop-in sinks. They stick out about 1.5 inches. I've got 2 of them. We're going to drop them into place. And then that is pretty much done for the kids' washroom. Again, since my last update, the shower in the kids' bath is really coming along. We've obviously removed the tub, and now you can kind of start to see what this big shower is actually going to look like in here. So. And why not, you know? There's a lot of room in this old washroom. I mean, way more washroom than we really need, but capitalize on the space, right? If you can run, you know, right to the exterior wall or the room wall, I should say, then do that. You know, I see a lot of renovations and builds where for whatever reason, you know, they build a weird curb or they put in a low shower door and you have to duck to get in. Here we have, you know, the blessing of a high ceiling here, real nice high ceiling. And then we also have quite a bit of width here, right? So there's a lot of room. But you know what? Perfect for 2 kids. So I'm really pleased just with everything and how it's slowly coming together. You can see our curb and saluters in place and everything and the tile on the wall. This will be floor to ceiling tile, as you can see at the back, right up there. And then we're going to drop it all the way down. So yeah, really coming together. Now let's head off into the kitchen just to see how this is coming together. This is really starting to look good. So let's have a look. We finally have our countertops in place here. So that's awesome. You can see this is our farmhouse sink that we're going to drop into place. I got rid of all the old cabinetry here. So you remember the dishwasher, the old dishwasher used to be here. My new one will go right in here. Hopefully tonight yet, I'll get that done. And then our farmhouse sink will sit right on top. And we've got some old plumbing here, copper, that we'll have to deal with tomorrow. But the boxes are in place. You can start to see the overall layout and design of these cabinets with all the drawers. My oven hood is actually being built right now. That should be nearing completion this week. So that's pretty sweet. And then the island is starting to get a few different dimensions on there. You can see we have the island now bolted in place, screwed down to the wood floor. Our wine fridge is here. So you can really start to kind of see a layout of how things are coming together. And this is basically ready for countertop. So we're going to have our countertop company come in here tomorrow and measure everything out for the quartz countertops. So we're going to have a nice big quartz countertop here, and hopefully it's all in one slab with no seams. That would be nice. And same here. We're going to put the farmhouse sink in and get all these measurements. Quartz countertops in my part of the world take about 3 to 4 weeks to have them manufactured. So that's pretty cool. Over here, you can see this is where our oven and microwave are going to go, right in here. And then our fridge in that corner as well. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Couple things going on. We want to get measurements for our quartz countertop, obviously. And then number 2 is I've got my tiler guy wrapping up those washrooms. When he's completed those washrooms, he'll be ready to move into the floor behind me here, because we are tiling this entire kitchen floor from the dining room area all the way through the kitchen and then all the way into the pantry there as well. So yeah, exciting stuff. And probably the last thing just to showcase here is the half bath. Let's go have a look at this, see where we're at. Again, I have some amazing Portuguese style tile in here. So we've got that dry fitted and ready to go. I've got a little bit of plumbing to finish up here, not a big deal. And then again, this is a textured wall, so I'm just experimenting with floating and sanding and just some different ideas here as to how to take care of that. But this is more of an experimental room, so that's pretty exciting. Lastly, over here as well, this past weekend, I did a delete. So we had a built-in vacuum, so I've deleted that inlet pipe. I had a humidistat here as well. I've deleted that and moved that over to my brand new Nest Generation 4 thermostats. Super cool. You can run everything through the Google app, and it's basically just cleaned up this entire wall. Look at it as a wall delete, if you will. Just we had a bunch of crap here. When we first moved in, there was an intercom system here. We still had our old thermostat, the humidistat, and then the inlet for the central vac. So yeah, just kind of cool to clean that stuff up and get that done. Fireplace is starting to come together. We're just waiting to finish the tiling down below, and then we will place that fireplace insert to where it needs to be. But for the rest of the paint and the stain and my fur is all on there as far as the mantle goes. So yeah, really starting to come together. And I think it's only fitting that we just wrap up this video right where we started, back in the master. So anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoy this content. There's a lot of little micro steps that have to go together with tradespeople just to make sure everything coordinates well, from your electrician to your plumber to your cabinet makers. You know, all these guys need to kind of work cohesively just to kind of make sure that everything falls into place systematically. Otherwise, you will find yourself waiting a long time for certain things. Our number 1 priority was getting the cabinet boxes built, so that we can then bring in the guys to measure our countertops, because that's a one-shot deal. You know, they measure a couple times and they make it to fit. There's no going back after that. Once you've paid your deposit and your countertops are manufactured, that's what we have to work with. So attention to detail is key there, that's for sure. But yeah, it's coming together. Bit of a process, no doubt, but it's nice to actually see all these new components kind of come in and go. And yeah, my only advice to anyone doing this is find the right tradespeople, and you have to become a bit of a orchestrator in a sense to make sure that all these guys work together. But it's been fun nonetheless. So anyways, again, that's week 5, episode 5. I hope you enjoy. We'll see you on the next one next week. Cheers.